Now we're going to talk about adding transitions to your clips. So once you have your clips assembled in your timeline, like I do down here, we'll be able to add transitions to those. So let's go ahead and play through, and we'll kind of talk about transitions and why we use them as we're kind of playing through this. So what transitions will allow us to do is it allows us to move from one clip to another and give the audience time to kind of process the change in that clip. You'll see that these kind of jump in between different spaces here. So I'm on this overlook, and then I cut right to the bridge here. So I can apply a transition so that my audience has time to transition in their mind from one space to another. Now this is totally an artistic choice, but I just want to show you how to apply them and what they would look like. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'll show you the easiest way to do it. So the easiest way to apply a transition is to go to either the beginning of our clip or in between two clips, and then you'll right click and then apply default transition. So if I do that in between these clips, you'll see these little brown boxes show up here to show off that transition. And you'll see that it kind of fades from one place to another, right? So we go from one clip to the next clip. Or if we do it at the beginning, it kind of fades in. So I'll show you that once. I'll show you with it and then without it. So here's the transition. Here's the clip with the transition built in. Let me go ahead and undo that, Command Z. And then I'll show you with it, without it. So there's without. You see kind of jumps. See the jump? And then if I right click and apply default transition, that will transition between those nice and smooth. So that feels a little bit more natural. So I'm going to go ahead and undo these last couple of moves, and I'm going to show you another way you can add transitions. So transition is an effect. So we're going to move from our editing workspace to our effects workspace. This is one way to get to this menu. I find it's the simplest, so that's what we're going to use it. So if I come over here to my effects window on the far right, I will see a bunch of video effects and things like that. I'm going to go to video transitions though, and if I click on this little drop down, it shows me my different video effects. So I have 3D motion, dissolve, all this type of stuff. So these are all different types of transitions. The most standard ones are dissolves, so I'm going to go ahead and stick with those. So I'm going to go ahead and select the dissolve that I want. I'm going to go ahead and choose dip to black. Then all I have to do is click and drag that where I want it for the transition. So you see that I'll click and drag it, and if I drop it right there, and then I come ahead and play through, then you'll see that it kind of dips down to black and then comes back up. Dip to black. Dip to white with dip to white. I'm going to go ahead and undo that real quick, and I'll choose across dissolve. I'm just going to show you the difference. So across dissolve literally takes the two images and has one fade in while one fade out while the other one fades in. And we'll see that that's a little bit better of a transition than just leaving it alone. Cool. So cross dissolve, drop it in. And there we go. So then we can apply that to multiple things, and we can choose different dissolves in different places. Typically, you want to stick with one. And kind of the general rule of thumb is that if we're changing time or space, so when something's happening or where something's happening, a transition isn't a bad call. If we're in the same space and we're cutting between stuff, that's fine to just kind of leave no transition there. But if we're transitioning between time and space, typically you want some sort of transition. I like dissolves. And again, that's available under the effects menu, but it's up to you as to what you want to do. Just wanted to share this with you and make sure that you were comfortable getting to it. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.